that course is...
That doesn't sound like a bad day.
It was a good day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. Jonathan and Robby here on a cold January day. We've had a little winter weather. I know a lot of people have. Jonathan, how are you doing?
Not too bad. I mean, it's our version of winter weather. I mean, I've got family in Illinois that are living with -2 degrees. I think it's going to be 40 today. So if you're in the South,
it's not golf weather. It's not golf weather.
You could go out and play golf today, but all the courses are probably closed because they were expecting ice and all those things. So there's probably a good chunk of greens that were covered over the weekend. And, you know, there's no reason to ruin a golf course at the end of January for May and June, July play. So
no, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. So we're recording today, end of January, and we're excited to talk about the PGA Show, which I had an opportunity to go to. But before we jump into that, and I know you got a lot of questions because we haven't really talked much about it.
We haven't chatted.
So this makes it a good episode. But yeah, before we do that, many thanks to our friends at Summit Golf Brands, Beachraddy, Zero Restriction, Fairway, and Green. If you use 20% or BestBall 20 on any of their websites, you can get 20% off your order. So many thanks to those guys, Billy Draddy, Dan Drellinger, all the people that we get to work with. So many thanks there. So Jonathan, let's jump into it, man. Let's talk about you and I are the guests today, right? We're kind of just chatting about this thing.
You're the guest because I wasn't anywhere. I was in Denver for some family stuff.
You were missed, man. I really wish you'd have been there.
I wish I could have been there too. Let's start with the fact that we just released our 150th episode last week. And so I don't know if you had like a running list of the 140-ish guests that we've had on, looking for them at the PGA Show, but talk about what it's like to walk into a room for the very first time and all of a sudden run into, I mean, how many people did you get to see that are sort of virtual friends with because of the show?
Yeah, so I tried to make a list this morning of the ones, if I remember seeing on there. I didn't count it, but I got probably 30 at least.
Wow.
Of people that we've had on the Whole Story Podcast. I ran into a handful of folks that Josh Decker's had on Off the Deck and got to chat with them because, you know, I produced that show for him. And so I'm sitting there in producer mode, but I'll pop in kind of before and after the show and say hello. But yeah, so it was amazing. I kind of went into it thinking like, I hope I get to see a lot of these people. So it was fun.
And almost Bubba Watson. We're this close to getting Bubba Watson on the show. This is the thing. You walk, Bubba Watson comes by, you don't grab him or something, ask what his favorite golf shot is.
Yeah. So he was walking by, I was standing there talking to Trevor Larson and Ryan O'Meara there at the Power Built booth. And I didn't notice him at first. And all of a sudden Trevor's like, Bubba! And he's like, oh, you know, kind of does the old left-handed wave, and he's got his entourage with him. They're all in like their pink and black, like the goat, whatever the goat herders or what's this Live team called? Is he still playing Live?
I don't know. Is he?
I don't know. I mean, he was goat range goats. There it is. Sorry, Bubba. The range goats. We're big fans. But Trevor's like, oh, and he kept, gave the wave, kept walking. He's like, you hit persimmon, and he never said anything. But yeah, saw Bubba. I know there were some other pros there as well.
Yeah. So talk to someone who's never been there, like myself. You show up, it's at an event center, I assume, or some sort of hall. But then whenever I saw pictures, it looked like there were 2 or 3 stories to it. It's like, how does this whole show spread out across in the Orlando area?
Sure. It is crazy enough. It's right near Disney and Universal and all that stuff. So it's very much in that area. When I first parked on Wednesday morning, I parked and I walk in and I'm thinking this entire thing's going to be a PGA Show. And I didn't look at the scale from a, aerial size and all this other stuff, but I walk in and I see like veterinary conference and I'm like, oh man, but I see people with golf stuff walking in the same direction. And I'm like, all right, I'll follow them. So there was on one half, third, quarter, I don't know, of this place, there was a veterinary conference. I'm sure they had a great time. But I walk over and all of a sudden, like here's the PGA Show, and it is massive. Like, I heard it was massive, and somebody, I can't remember if it was you and I talking to somebody one time, and they said, I'd give you $100 if you happen to go by and say hey and talk to every single person or a person at every single booth.
Right.
I probably could have done it, but that would have been all I was doing. Like a quick, like 1 minute, hey, I'm Robbie. Who are you? Got to go. Like, there was
Yeah.
that many people, and that,
I,
yeah.
I think they said there's 400 booths that are a part of this thing. And I've been to conferences before with 150 to 200. I can't imagine the scale of just going and going and going.
Yeah, I looked Wednesday, and now this includes parking and walking, and I went to a couple events afterwards. But Wednesday, I think I logged almost 8 miles of walking
It's a
at
round
a
of golf.
conference. It's a full round of golf, but
Yeah.
this is on a concrete slab floor. Now, individual booths had their, hey, we've been here before. We got some padding in our booth, but it was a lot of walking.
Yeah. So what was there a booth or two that stood out where you're just like, there are obviously startups that are going to be there, but then there's going to be others that are filling out 6 different booth spaces and they've got 85 people there to show everybody what they're doing. Was there any of them that stood out that were just over the top in terms of space and people and what they were doing?
Not over the top. I wouldn't say anything was over the top. I think the brands and companies that you would expect to have large spaces had the large spaces. Titleist had a massive space. Ping, Callaway, they all had large spaces because golf balls, clubs, people, like clothes, Titleist with their FootJoy stuff, like it was appropriate. I didn't think anything was over the top. The one big company though that I did not see, and I've heard maybe this is the second year, but TaylorMade was not there. No, they did not have a presence there. As far as a booth space, they had people walking around because I see, Team TaylorMade folks walking around and stuff like that. But yeah, they did not have a booth space. I guess they say, hey, business is good enough that we're not going to spend, because I heard it's a pretty pricey expense to have a space that they would have probably needed to have for that.
To have the largest space.
Yeah, so they probably just saved money on that. And I don't think they're hurting. People are still buying all their products. So
Sure. Any hidden gems, folks, that we didn't know about that you came across where you just thought it was a cool concept or a cool business or cool people?
I mean, I thought everybody was cool. I really was smiling because, and we could talk about this later, just how this is a perfect place for folks like us and what we are doing to go to. One booth, and I think I mentioned to you before, a company called Uniker. Golf simulators and things like that are kind of the rage right now, from personal simulators to you have these places that you can go, indoor golf spaces to do it. I'd gotten reached out to by the folks at Uniker and said, hey, we know you're coming. And, I was labeled, I was kind of excited about this, labeled as a media attendee. I've got my badge hanging up over here. I was editorial media. And so I'd gotten reached out to by a handful of companies saying, hey, can we set up a time for you to come by? And I kind of did some quick research when I would see one of those come in, and I said, yeah, let's do this one. I go to the Uniker booth during the presentation, and it takes golf simulators to the next level using the technology like AI, things like that. They had a demonstration where one of their, I guess, sales reps or engineers or something stepped up, and he was probably just the best golfer of the bunch. But he would hit, he walked up and said, hey, whatever the AI's name was, I'm going to practice today. Oh, great. What's your name? I'll say Mike. And so, all right, Mike, what do you want to work on? Well, I'm trying to work on iron shots. I seem to be slicing it or something. And so he's having this conversation, kind of like you might type out on Chat GPT or something like that. And it said, all right, well, let's hit your first shot. And he would hit it. And it had cameras and multiple. I mean, this is not really a home setup unless you just have a massive home. But he would hit the shot, and that first shot, the thing said, all right, your spine tilt was not where it needed to be. That's why the ball was going this way. He said, okay, let's practice that to work that out. And I gave him a couple of pointers of things to try, and he did it. And then said, oh, good, you've corrected that. Now let's work on your head tilt at impact. So stuff like that just fascinates me, right? Like, it's never going to take away the human side of lessons and coaching, but for somebody that maybe just has the means, or if you just want to go to a place that has this set up as in a facility and use AI to learn. I thought that was really cool. That was one. There's a ton of them that stand out, but that was one that stood out to me.
Well, and that sort of thing is the trickle down effect, right? You wonder, like, I mean, 10 years ago, you wouldn't know people that had simulators in their house.
Yeah.
And now it becomes more and more accessible. Shoot, now you can take little trackers and everything with you and put them on every single tee box and track what you're doing while you're playing the course.
Yeah.
You can get instant feedback in terms of what that looks like. So maybe we don't have our own little Jeeves AI golf assistant yet, but soon maybe we will. So
Yeah.
You also had a little bit of golf in the middle of the PGA Show. So talk about that. You stopped first in Jacksonville on the way down, met some fans of the show.
Yeah. So no, if you say fans of the show, that's oh, hopefully they're fans, friends of the show. Yes, on the way down, I drove because I didn't want to fly, and it's not that far of a drive. But also, I did want to stop in Jacksonville. We started Best Ball Golf Club, and somebody that has been following a podcast for a while, a guy named Dave Warner. We've been trying for over a year and a half now to figure out a time to go play golf with him, and I thought this was the perfect time to do it. So I was able to play golf with Dave Warner and one of the guests of the Whole Story podcast, Alex Napier, who then I would run into Alex from time to time during the show. Incredible golf photographer. Takes a lot with Titleist and FootJoy and stuff. But yeah, I got to play with them at St. John's Golf Club. They're just outside of Jacksonville. Alex just moved there maybe 6 months ago. Had not met Dave, and so now they have buddies or another person that they can tee it up with from time to time. But yeah, I was able to play with them on the way down. It was a lot of fun. I did stop on the way back. I drove back Friday, and Dave had reached out and said, "Hey, one of my friends who's a member at a private club, San Jose Country Club, we need a fourth. Do you want to join us for that?" And I said, sure. I got to pass by there again. I can leave early enough and get there in time, and then still make it home at a reasonable hour. So got to play a couple times with him. Another highlight of this, though, was
I was going to say your detour.
Yeah, a little detour. So I had thought long and hard about going to demo day. I hear even from this year's experience, like even the major club manufacturers are not out there the whole time. It was a kind of a cool, blustery day. So maybe that's what led to them cutting out early, but I don't think I missed that much. But I did get the opportunity to go down to Streamsong and attend the media day for the newest golf course that will be opening down there, the 5th course at Streamsong, and this one designed by David McClay Kidd. He was doing a tour. He was leading the tour for media. And so I got to go hang out and stayed overnight with Jeff Marsh at their lodge there at Streamsong, and then got to go with him and Ryan Grammatico and another guy, Brandon Wolf. I was about to blank on his name, Brandon, sorry. Those guys, all part of Restoration Club, good friends with Jeff. So got to go hang out with them a little bit, and we got to go tour David McClay Kidd's new course with David serving as a guide. I thought that was incredible, and I think I texted you because you and I love talking to architects.
Oh, yeah.
And hearing how they describe certain things. One note I did point down, I thought you would really appreciate this. I can't remember which hole it was. Hole number 11. He said, "We designed this to get inside the wedge or inside a golfer's wedge." And he explained it. He said, when you hit your driver and it leaves you less than what a full wedge shot would be. So like 60-ish yards.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was so fascinating to hear an architect describe, here's why we designed this hole. And you can either lay back, I think there was a bunker in the fairway. You can lay way back and have like a full longer iron, or you can carry the bunker, which is reasonably carried, but then that'll put you inside your wedge. So it'll really test that short game. Fascinating. Got to meet some incredible people there at Streamsong. And then in the afternoon after lunch, Jeff and the other guys, we went out and got to play Streamsong Blue, which that course is.
That doesn't sound like a bad day.
It was a good day. We had a lot of fun. And of the 3 times I played last week, that was the best round of the day. So that was fun.
That always helps that you can deliver whenever you're at the nicest place too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you mentioned the AI technology and what's going on there. What were some other products that sort of stood out and impressed you along the way?
Yeah, I mean, technology, stood out and saw the Repsodo booth and Foresight, those, like you were talking about, the little kind of portable things. At the Powerbuilt booth, they were released their cavity back irons, and also a new mini driver that was 3D printed. So it's really cool. And two, getting to hang out with Trevor and Ryan and those
Right.
guys. Got to meet Ross of Ross Golf Co. Ross does like custom head covers. He's a full-time caddy at Bandon. Just a neat guy. And I got to talk to him. He'll be a guest at some point on one of these episodes. So it was great. Trying to think who else ran into. A guy named Ryan Hodge, who's the director of golf out at the Glacier Club, a private course out in Colorado. I did get to meet and chat briefly with Matt Lemon and Chris Derby. Matt is the owner of Jones Golf Company and also Foresters. And I made thanks and got to run into Tanner, who works for them, that through all of their kindness and efforts got us hooked up with our carry bags that we took over to Scotland. So he remembered that. We'll have those guys on the podcast too, just because they do some great stuff.
They do good stuff.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I met a number of folks. I went over to the Golf Ireland place because I had a meeting with Tom Kennedy. We connected over LinkedIn. Tom is with Experience Ireland Golf and Travel. And while I was there, got to see Jerry and Fiona from Cairn. They were there.
over.
They were there.
That's awesome.
So I got to spend a few minutes talking with them. They're just sweet as folks. Like, man, I want to get back over there so bad just to go hang out with them, obviously see their course. But they were so kind. They remember us being there. They again apologized for the shape of the greens when we were there. They said, "Oh, it got so much better after y'all were there." And I said, "We don't care. Like, it was amazing. We had the best time." So I met a number of other folks in that area that do tours, Scotland and Ireland. One was a guy named David Harris, who's the managing director of Bonnie Wee Golf. And the reason that was familiar, standing there at the booth with him, was Stephen Proctor, who we interviewed. He's a golf writer and had just written about the Old Tom Morris Trail. He went and did like the Bonnie Wee Golf Company. They created this, they called it Old Tom Morris Trail. It's like 18 clubs around Ireland or around Scotland where you would go and play his courses. And I got that book from All Grey Tune from our buddy John Morton, who brings books like that over. So I just got that. It was delivered right before I left for the event. So, man, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. Were there, you mentioned tour groups and courses like that. Were there other like U.S. courses that were there? Were there, large footprints trying to bring people in? And what are they trying to do there? Are they just trying to share who they are and what they do with the professional world? Or, because it's not exactly a place that, regular golfers just show up to on a daily basis.
Right. So, there are a lot of PGA professionals there that run and operate golf courses. Like I saw our friend Drew King, who is a general manager at the Tree Farm, and I met the new pro there, Alex, I believe is his name. They're there, and all the PGA pros are there shopping, right? They are looking at all the apparel vendors, all equipment manufacturers, things like that, to basically shop for the entire year to fill out their clubhouse. So fill out the merchandise that they might need from different manufacturers, clothing companies, things like that. Signs, our friend Brandon Smith said he had talked to Paul Tabor from Fort Jackson, local military course here in Columbia. And Paul was going to be down there. And he told Brandon, like, man, I got to find clothes. I got to find clubs. I got to find signs for the golf course, things for the range. Like, there were new technology range pickers and stuff that courses could get. So most of the pros there are on a mission as really buyers and trying to be good stewards of the money that their course has for filling out a pro shop to take care of the members and the people that visit. So that's where you see a lot of those people. And, when I run into a few of them, they're like, yeah, let's come. I did meet kind of the director of media for the French Lick Resort in Indiana. And, he was excited. He's like, yeah, we got plenty of stories. Let's set up a time for you guys to come check it out. So there are places like that are there. I did see our buddy Tom Farrell from Dream Golf. I ran into him. Just again, thanked him for the experience that I had at Sand Valley. And he's all excited because he's got more. He's got, Rodeo Dunes, Wild Spring Dunes, the Old Shores down there in Florida. I think that's the name of it. So they're doing a lot of things. So that's it is the business of golf just happening right there.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the business of golf and how you go around, you did walk at least 18 holes every single day. You're also wearing a hat from a group that we've had on the show. Talk about Painter and what they're doing there and what their booth was like.
Yeah, so their booth was like non-existent. And I know that might be surprising. They did not have a booth set up.
Really?
They did. Yeah, they were smart with how they did it. They decided, you know what, instead of a booth where everybody could come, they held a private event one evening after the show was over, and they were able to invite the people. I don't want to say that they wanted there, but like a select group of people. It was a large group. They did it at Top Golf. And it was amazing. They announced, so I got to meet Mike Forsey, who we had on the podcast, the president and co-founder. He's the nicest guy in the world. Like, I love talking with him. And then, the others that we have interacted with from Painter. But they kind of had their big announcement. They announced new players on the Painter lineup. So, right, they already had Jason Day.
Yep.
But they announced Minwoo Lee as a new Painter athlete, Sam Burns, and then another gentleman, I'm going to forget his name, I think that plays on a different tour. But they announced that. They announced their latest products. They have, I think they called it the Speed lineup. And you're really going to hate this,
Oh
Jonathan.
my gosh.
Hold on.
You didn't tell me about this.
I did not tell you about this. Got a new pair of shoes.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Yeah, these are awesome. These are the spiked versions. So these are the Reserve Classic Tour. And I'll hold it a little closer, and I'm going to take some pictures and post it on our account.
Heck yeah.
But it's got the carbon fiber plating technology that all their shoes have. But yes, it was a nice thanks for being here gift that they gave if you RSVP'd for the event. So, yeah, excited about maybe what can happen. I talked with them about possibly partnering with us for different stuff. So we'll get you some more shoes, Jonathan.
I appreciate you not telling me that while I was in Denver.
I could. And I'm talking with Bo. Bo's wearing this hat, and I'm like, man, that's a cool hat. I need to go online and find one of those things. He goes, hold on. And he walked over and like reached under a table and was like, here you go.
Oh my
gosh. And gave me a hat. So
you didn't come home with like persimmon clubs or anything else, did you?
No, I did get you a hat. I ran into the guys from Boring Ball Markers, and they handed me a couple hats. So like, give one to Jonathan. I'm like, absolutely.
Nice.
So
you got to see some other friends of Voda Golf. From what I understand, you were able to hang out with them for a little bit.
Yeah, they did have a booth set up. They were showing off their latest and greatest. Like, I'm just really excited. The W3 wedge is kind of their newest thing. And, we talked about this. I think you and I have talked about and highlighted the fact that Tom and the team in Avoda, and he even mentioned this, they're not going to release stuff just because it's the next year. So they're not like, hey, here's the 2026 club, and it's just a new can of paint, right? Or a new color or something like that.
Yeah.
They only release stuff when they have figured out how to make a club better that will help a golfer. And their new W3 wedges is designed, and they said, you cannot chunk this wedge. And that immediately gets my my interest in my mind going. I'm like, I can prove you wrong on that, but I'll take your word for it. So, yeah, it's just, and Tom kind of explained it, and he's super technical, and love hearing him talk about this stuff. But just how the sole is, and all of the bottom of it's just designed not to allow you to chunk it. And so, yeah, I did get to hang out with them. Tom's going to be going out to, they're headquartered in Pittsburgh. Tom's going to be heading out to California, in Fresno, where his partner Mike is at. And Mike's kind of helped. That's Bryson's coach. and just kind of help do a lot of the design and testing and stuff like this. And so you and I might be able to go out there and do some club fitting for them as a partner of Best Ball. So I'm excited about that one. That'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I got to hang out with Tommy Lewis and Lexi, and Tom's brother was there. Got to meet him, who handles a lot of the back end stuff for the business. So just a great group, man. It was fun to get to hang. They said, "Hey, do you want to do your fitting now?" And I told him, I'm at this point where I need a lot of time to warm up and get loose, and you fitting me right now would not be, because at that point it'd been half a day or 3/4 of a day walking around like I'm stiff, I'm tired, hungry, probably, like yeah.
Let's make sure
not
do
a
it
good
right.
time to get fit.
Yep, absolutely. Well, anything that, if you're just a listener right now, you're not involved like we are with the media, would the PGA show be worth going to?
I don't know. I don't know if it's really made for just attendees. I think there's so much business happening that, it's not like a home and garden show where you're going and you're like, oh, maybe we'll do that to our house or something like that. It really is like something for people that are in the business. Now, I heard so many people say, oh, I hate going to these things. It's, I have to go buy for the year. And none of the people I really talk to and know very well were like that. But, they're like, oh, it's, do I go this year? I kind of go every year. But for us, for what we do with wanting to meet people, like for us golfish people, we get to go meet people. We get to run into people that we've done shows with. I didn't even mention Michael Verska. I got to see him and his son. Michael was one of our earliest guests back in the day. In that first season, probably in the first 10, 15 episodes, he was kind enough. He's the director of custom fitting and player development or something at Callaway. And got to meet him, got to meet his son, who's with Asher Golf. So we're going to get his son on at some point. So might be the first father-son duo that we've had on the show. But, for somebody like us that wants people, wants to meet people, wants to hear stories, help tell stories, it was great. I'm thinking of more and more people I ran into. So Dan and Katie Winters with 3570 Golf Company, got to see them. Like, they're the kindest people ever, as far as, just good Kansas folks from Wichita that are building a brand to celebrate the Midwest and all things that area. And they're super nice. They're super encouraging. Got some ideas about maybe how we can continue to tell their story, because they're growing. Ever since we interviewed them, they're doing a lot of good. I did run into Tyler Johnson, and I'm sorry, I keep talking a ton.
No, you're good.
I got stories for days, man. Tyler Johnson, Charlie Golf Company.
That's right.
Right. So he's like, man, y'all are my first podcast. Like, things are going great. Like, he's got his warehouse now where he's out of the garage. He's doing stuff. And so he actually, I didn't see him when he was doing it, but he walked around with a pink toddler golf bag when he was, and people would come up to him like, are you Charlie Golf Company? And, it just kind of blew his mind of like, yeah, that's me. And so he's doing some great things. So it was fun to see and hang out with him. And even my friend Kyle Nathy, you talked about I don't want to say regular people, do just golfers want to come. Kyle Nathy is working to start maybe a club building, club repair, club fitting brand. And he came down because it was fitting his schedule, came down for one day. So I got to walk around, hang out with him, introduced him to a number of people at Avoda, at Power Built, who he might start doing some stuff for. We went to the Restoration Club, together with the Good Lion folks. And so, he got to help introduce him to folks that might help shape his business. So that's what it's all about, man. It's all about people.
Was that the after party, the tailgating event that you were going to?
Tailgating, yeah, out in the parking lot. It was funny. Like I don't know. I mentioned the Painter Golf thing. They did it at Top Golf. I went to one for Goated Golf Company. They make custom putters, and they did it at a restaurant down the road. There was one, the Restoration Club and Good Lion Golf Company, a clothing brand. They did something. They did a tailgate in the parking lot of a hotel, And I had to leave early because I had to go to another thing, but I was there for 45 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Apparently, I saw they had to close it up at one point because the hotel kept getting calls of, "Hey, where's the party for the Restoration Club tailgate?" And they're finally like, "Guys, I'm sorry, we just can't keep answering all these calls. You're gonna have to cut it or something." So, but it was good, man. They were grill. They had a little grill out there, and they're grilling some sausages and hot dogs, and it
That's
was a lot of
great.
fun.
True tailgates. All right. Well, as we wrap this up, we ask all of our guests, and you are a guest right now, the most memorable golf shot. So we're not going to go with your life because we got that, but you did get to play a handful of rounds. So what was your most memorable golf shot during the PGA Show week?
I had again. I played well at Stream Song on the blue course. That was fun. Nine. No shots really stood out. We did have a par three, like maybe one of their signature holes, that there was the biggest alligator that I've ever seen in person,
Saw that picture.
sitting right next to the path, just sunning himself. But the best shot I had, so when I played with Dave Warner on Monday and then on Friday, like I was not hitting my irons well at all. Like Stream Song again, I think I hit 13 of 14 fairways. They were a little bigger, so it worked. I was flushing my irons, hitting them well with stuff I'm working on with Pat from Old Barnwell. But on Friday at St. John's Country Club or San Jose Country Club, it was one of those, I hit the fairway. I hit most of the fairways. It was in my irons. Normally I have that kind of weak, slappy little fade.
Yep.
Well, I flushed an 8-iron from like, I don't know, 155, 160. And I knew it was right. It was the best feeling one I had all day. And I ended up a couple inches from the hole.
That's awesome.
And so that one, it was like maybe number 13 or something like that there at San Jose Country Club. That was the story of my best shot. And I was able to say, guys, this is how normally it's supposed to happen more often than not. But yeah, I did. You and I are keeping track of our lost ball thing.
Yeah.
I did lose one that day, but I lost, I think, 3 at the St. John Golf Club. And mainly it was those holes, kind of like we were talking with Chris Baker a second ago for a different interview. Those par fours that go kind of dogleg left.
Yeah.
And so with a fade kind of shot, I'm like, all right, well, how much do I have to start over the water to then fade back? And on one hole, I put 2 in the water. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I texted you, I said, here's this number one. And I didn't have time to number the next one before it was lost.
Yeah. I've got PTSD for the last time I went out and played golf. It was not good.
Yeah.
I haven't gone out since, not for any other reason than I just haven't been able to, but I'm a little nervous about the next time I go.
I think I'm averaging one every, I don't know, 18, 27 holes, something like that. So not one every round.
I'm averaging one every 3 holes. I think it is something around there.
Well, good thing you went to that Black Friday sale and loaded up.
It's a good
thing. Have you run out of those yet?
Let's not talk about it. All right. If you're a regular listener, you know that we do a thing called the Quick Nine. So this is again going to be PGA Show themed. All right. I think this is a pretty obvious answer. What was the favorite course that you played during the week?
Stream Song Blue.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It's unreal. I'm excited at some point to get back down there. Maybe we'll take a good company trip with our BestBall Golf Club and go down there and play all of them. Because, I mean, I heard, John Combs recently went down and played the Chain. Like, I want to go play that. There wasn't enough time to do it all. But yeah, that place is pretty special.
Yeah, there never is. All right. Bucket list course that you found out about through the PGA Show.
Oh, great question. Bucket list course. Well, I mentioned the one, that Glacier Club out in Colorado. That would be fun. But I haven't even looked this one up much, but Storm King. Okay. Like, listen to the name of that course.
Sounds good.
Storm King. It is somewhere, I want to say like Virginia, northeast-ish area. Okay. Like, and yeah, so Ryan was telling me about that place. He said, you got to check that one out. So Storm King. Yep.
Another one to the list. All right. What is a new product that no one knows about?
A new product that no one knows about. Let's see. I'm scrolling through my list here. I met a guy named Robby, who is with Squid Socks.
Okay.
And I jokingly said, we need to get you on the podcast because Jonathan doesn't wear socks, but they
Right.
make socks that have this like thing on the back side of them, not underneath for grip resistant, but on the back heel to
Okay.
not let your socks fall away. So there's a section in the PGA Show of new products and innovations,
Right.
and that was pretty cool. I did have one guy hand me a brochure. I didn't even really look at it, but there were glasses you wear that basically acts as your rangefinder. And so like you could see like
What?
the course like right there.
It's like Iron Man on a golf course.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. That'd be
Yeah.
great. All right. Who would be in your dream foursome, but only with people that you met?
Oh gosh. Only with people I've met. I met Roger Steele
I saw that.
at the painter party. That was fun. I texted that funny story. I texted that picture to you, and you I don't think had any idea. And then I texted that picture to my family group chat, and my wife gave it a thumbs up. But then she sent me a screenshot, her texting our son Archie, and said, "Hey, who's that with Dad?" and he said, "Oh my gosh, that's Roger Steele," and he was really excited. My daughter had no clue, but that was fun. It was fun to see him. Matt Kang, he was at the painter party. He's a pretty big influencer with the painter group, and his own stuff. And then I don't know. I'll throw out. Matt Lemon with Jones will be fun, but I did get to meet, who was it? Casey Bannon and Tim Woodruff with the Golfer's Journal. I was carrying around my Broken Tea Society book bag, and
Yeah.
I hear this, hey, nice backpack, and I turn and it was them, and introduced them, talked to them for a minute, and I think we might be able to get them on the podcast. So that's probably way more than a foursome, but
That's right.
There's so many people, man.
There were a lot of
Bubba,
people.
I could have said Bubba, but I didn't meet him really.
You did, yeah, he kind of dismissed you. We don't need that kind of
Sorry,
nonsense.
Bubba. If you'd have stopped and said, hey, he would have been on that list.
Could have been on the list. All right. What was your favorite snack during the week? What did you eat that you liked the best?
It's funny. I didn't eat a ton of stuff. I did Chick-fil-A most nights because I'm trying to eat healthier, and so I was able to get some grilled chicken. That's a very boring answer there. I went to the FCA breakfast. It was a good breakfast. And I'd say that the food was, conference food, but I went to the FCA breakfast and got to hear Chandler Whittington share kind of his testimony, former pro, great artist, does podcast. And so that was really cool. He's friends of Nate Oxman, one of our podcast hosts. So, decent breakfast, but it was more of the people that were there for that.
That's pretty cool. All right. Favorite logo
hold on.
Go ahead.
I will say, and this was, we did get to sample at the lunch at Streamsong, sample what they are going to be doing for the special on-course food for that course that David McClay Kid's doing. It was like a Scotch egg.
Oh, those are great.
It was like a soft boiled, but wrapped in chorizo and fried.
Right. They're
Got
fantastic.
to have that with some kind of, had one of those. So I didn't know if I'd like it, but it was good.
Oh, I love Scotch eggs.
There you go. Now we have reason to take you down to Streamsong.
I've eaten a lot of Scotch eggs in my life. Once I found them, I had them a lot. All
I
right.
am one. That's the total count for me right now.
Oh man, I was at a place up in Wisconsin at a hotel that had a restaurant, and I think I ate probably a dozen the entire week that I was there. Every meal I had it for an appetizer.
That's funny.
Yep. All right. Favorite logo from the show?
Like brand, course, anything like that?
Whatever logo caught your attention.
What logo caught my attention? Trying to think what I got here. Got some stuff. I don't know. The Experience. They were one of these travel companies. They gave me a water bottle, and that's just kind of a cool little basic logo.
It's got a T on there.
What's that? Yeah,
it's T in there
for that. For the eye. The Highland Golf Links gave me a ball marker, but on the back, they have some of the courses in that area. So they have,
I like that.
Nairn, they have the new Old Petty course, and then Royal Dornick. So a lot of great logos. I did see one person say that online, they said, I'm just going to track the top 100 courses of people on their shirts and stuff.
Like a bingo card or something.
Yeah, and see, because, pros from all over, but people that are wearing different stuff.
Right.
But you know what? I'm going to go favorite logo, the BestBall logo. It was represented at the PGA Show for the first time.
That's awesome. There you
Yeah.
go. All
I
right.
had people ask, "Hey, can we buy stuff like with that on it?" I said,
Sure you
"We'll
can.
work on it." So I need to call Dan and see if we can make that happen.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. This might have already been shown. What was your favorite giveaway?
Got to be the painter golf shoes.
It's got to be the shoes. Golly.
Yeah, got to be the shoes.
Missed it.
Yep. Yeah, pretty excited about those.
Yep. All right. PGA Show 2027. The one booth you've got to stop at if you go next year.
That me or somebody else?
We'll say somebody else.
Somebody else?
Yeah.
I mean, one, if you're there all day for multiple days, Nespresso had a booth and they were doing espresso shots or coffee. So that was important. You know, go check out the new stuff. Go check out the new innovation things. They were great. I thought Jones, Foresters had a good booth. Go see the clubs, right? Like go to the area where people are demoing stuff. A lot of the smaller brands had like the hitting bays and stuff where you could hit. There were, all right. So one other booth that I checked out, sorry.
That's right.
Hijacking your question, Golf Zon. I went to that, a little media thing for them. And it was really cool. And basically they said you could, if you had a giant warehouse and you could set up like 18 of these things, people could go play a round of golf in 18 holes of golf in like an hour max. So go during lunch, but it was a simulator where the floor shifted, you put the ball based on where you hit it and whatever kind of lie. And once you made the green, the screen raises up and you walk through to the putting green and you get to putt on the green that you just hit to.
Well, that's pretty
that was pretty cool. I think, go find people, find interesting people. If you see somebody standing around, go up, say, "Hey, what do you do?" Yep. I enjoy doing that.
Yep. All right. Last one. Finish this sentence. The best part of the PGA Show was?
You know the answer.
I do.
It's the people, man.
Yeah.
For what we do and connecting people and connecting with people, this is a no-brainer. We need to be there every year and talk to and meet as many people as you can. There's so many great people doing great things in the game of golf, whether it's, a player, somebody that runs a course, somebody that has a brand, somebody with a business. They're just incredible people out there doing incredible things. And it's all about the people, man. Just building those relationships. Like I told you, I've got a list of people that we can probably fill out most of the rest of the year with people that we could get on the podcast, on the Whole Story podcast. But yeah, just opportunities that might come from it. So the people for sure.
Well, it feels a lot like the first time you went to Landman. Now I'm sitting there thinking, golly, I've got to make it back next year somehow. So hopefully there won't be any family and medical things going on and I'll be able to join you down there. But thank you for taking the time to go down, telling everybody about what it was like and listening to this. So on behalf of Robby, this is Jonathan, and you've been listening to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast.